As I readied myself for the day ahead, I was distracted by thoughts of when, not if, my brother Oscar would cause an incident. Fortunately, he'd been persuaded by my parents to return home, but I feared he would soon be overcome with anger, enough to put his life and liberty at risk. I twisted the soft locks of my hair into a long, elegant braid as I considered my situation. The moment I became angry with Rose, Aldrich would accuse me of wickedness and bullying the poor concubine. If I became angry with Aldrich, I would be criticized as the incompetent queen, who could not control her emotions, a fate many women had suffered before me. I did not want to put my family's position at risk, but I also knew tolerating Aldrich and Rose would brand me as stupid and foolish. As I stared at myself in the mirror, a strange laugh escaped from my lips. A wicked woman, an incompetent queen, a foolish broad. Is there any way out of this maze? Your Majesty? You may enter, Countess Eliza. Your Majesty, are you all right? There is such a look of gloom on your face. Yes, Eliza, I'm fine. What do you need? Delegates from the Celestial Isles have arrived. They bring somber news, I'm afraid. King Wharton has passed away. Oh. Help me finish getting ready, Eliza. I would like to greet them right away. My heart suddenly felt heavy as I imagined Prince Henry's smiling face crumbling into sadness. That night, neither the moon nor the stars were seen in the heavens. The sky appeared black because of the thick clouds. I stared up glumly at the scene. Oh, what is this? I leaned my head further out the window and noticed a silver bird fluttering. Are you Majesty's friend? Did Prince Henry send you? I chuckled to myself as I considered the circumstances, talking to a bird once again, but I thought this bird must be as intelligent as Majesty. He held out his leg to me to present the note tied to it. What do we have here? A letter from a prince.
Since I arrived here, I only think of you, Your Majesty. You are the only friend who can bring me comfort. I need you now, more than ever.
I felt goosebumps cover my entire body as I read the shaky handwriting. The sorrow was palpable, and so was our connection. As I set the letter down, the bird cried weakly. I went straight to my desk, then picked up a pen and set it to a piece of parchment, but my hand refused to move. I did not know what words I should say to comfort him. He had said I was the only person who could do so. But what on earth could I say to the grief he must be experiencing? If I were with him, I could simply sit there without saying anything. How could a few written words suffice? In the end, I wrote only a cliched sentence. I hope that you are not hurting too much.
Rose was doing her best to relax in her quarters, but she was so excited about the upcoming banquet to celebrate her pregnancy that she could hardly sit still. The moment Rose realized there was a visitor, she felt a knot forming in the pit of her stomach. She had a feeling they were not coming to bear gifts or good news. Viscount Rothescue entered slowly and shut the door behind him. He grinned at Rose. "Hello, Rose."
I did not say enter. Please leave.
"I passed by Queen Bronwyn on my way here. She is quite noble indeed. She has a very different essence from you, Miss Rose. Wouldn't you agree?"
What do you mean? Are you saying I do not hold nobility? What are you going to say to her?
Rose gave the Viscount a cold glare and frowned at the bad omen he brought. "Perhaps once you are in court as long as she has been, you will be able to match her regal stare. Of course, that assumes you are not expelled by then. Do you have anything to eat?"
If you have nothing else to discuss, please return to your business.
You really are a heartless bitch, aren't you? Rose clenched her shaking fists. She hated Rothescue, but knew she had no choice but to put up with his abuse.
What are you here for this time?
I need more money. Quickly.
Again? I just gave you 5,000 crowns.
Yes, that was for the purchase of the house. Now that I bought it, I must have a great deal of servants. The estate is quite big, and since I have such a large family, I need more hands.
You and that baby are not a lot of family.
You think it will only be us two? Tisk, tisk, Rose. I am bringing my son and daughter too, of course. You think I would come only with your baby? Besides, do you not miss my son, the father of your true firstborn child? Rose was so taken aback by the mention of the Viscount's son, Alan Rothescue, that she stumbled backwards into the sitting chair Aldrich had gifted her upon her pregnancy.
This is not what you promised. You said you would keep all the details of my past secret.
You may not have the skills to be a mother, but Alan does have the skills to be a father. He will keep his mouth shut for the sake of his baby. It cannot be helped. Alan is far better at caring for Isidore than I expected, so we cannot keep him out.
Who is Isidore?
A sickening smile curled over the Viscount's yellowing teeth. Isidore is your son, my dear. Rose began trembling as he spoke of her child. Would you like to meet him?
No. Now please leave.
Okay, my dear. But don't forget to find the crowns for my additional servants. I will be back soon. Once the Viscount was gone, Rose began pacing the room. She had carried that baby, who Rothescue had so familiarly referred to as Isidore, for 9 months, and loved him with all of her heart. As soon as she recovered from the shattering pain of labor, she was told that her baby had been killed. The shock of it had driven her mad. She had lived in a state of distress for months, until she decided to run away from Rothescue's estate, determined to die. But now Viscount Rothescue claimed that Isidore was still alive, and his son, Alan Rothescue, the lover who had abandoned her, was raising that baby. She was so tired of being manipulated by them, especially over a child she had never even seen. Rose collapsed into tears.
My room was filled with an air of anticipation as my ladies-in-waiting prepared for the upcoming banquet for Rose and Aldrich's child. Needing a distraction desperately, I sat engrossed in a book. The story was so well written that my curiosity for the character's situation broke my silence. That's how it feels to have a baby. The room fell silent as my ladies exchanged uneasy glances. I chuckled and pointed at my book. I apologize, ladies. I was referring to the story. The banquet preparations are nearly done. With less work on my plate, I thought I'd indulge in some leisurely reading. But would you like to have a baby, Your Majesty? I did not mean that, Eliza, I assure you. My ladies-in-waiting were not convinced so easily. I realized I needed to change the subject. I'm going to give Miss Rose's baby a present. Do you all have something prepared? I prepared clothes, something simple. I haven't decided yet. I got her some baby trinkets, but I might change it. Have you thought about what gift you will give, Your Majesty? I'm going to give the baby a decorative sword. A sword? You're giving that to a baby? Why not just give a knitted hat? Or something of small significance? This baby does not deserve something so graceful and thoughtful from you, Your Majesty. Do not lower yourself to her status, Your Majesty. Such a common gift would make her a laughing-stock, my ladies. I must be far more calculated in this twisted game we play. Is it not far stranger for you to give such a considerate gift, especially given your history? It serves a purpose, more than just a knitted hat. With all due respect, Your Majesty, I must say I find it a bit strange. I smiled to myself and returned to my book, flipping a page casually. Do not worry for me, ladies. I have a plan you will come to understand later.
After a hectic day, Prince Henry somberly made his way to the underground crypt where his brother's coffin was placed. He wanted nothing more than to remember his brother quietly in precious solitude. Preparing funeral arrangements in advance was considered a bad omen, and so Henry had spent the day with the strange logistics that are often paired with grief. But when he arrived at the crypt, there was already a familiar figure standing there, his sister-in-law and former queen of the Celestial Isles. Catherine, where are your ladies-in-waiting? Why are you alone in this cold place? Henry shifted his weight uncomfortably as he approached Catherine. They did not meet face to face often, and the implications of him calling her by her given name rather than Your Majesty were painful for them both. Catherine turned her head to look at him and smiled weakly.
I wanted to be alone.
You might catch a cold.
I am not that weak.
Not knowing how to be of service, Prince Henry pulled a handkerchief from his breast pocket and offered it to her.
Thank you.
But right as her fingertips were about to graze the cloth, Henry pulled it back. When Catherine craned her neck to see what he did not want her to touch, she noticed the QB embroidery on the napkin.
The handkerchief must belong to someone else, then?
Indeed.
Someone very important, I imagine.
As important as the sun.
I suppose, then, that this is an appropriate time to remind you of your brother's dying wish, for you to protect the kingdom, which includes finding a queen and creating a successor.
I am aware. He told me as much. I must also share with you that he left me with instructions to protect you at all costs.
Your brother was a kind man.
The two nobles nodded at each other, and Prince Henry left his sister-in-law where he found her. He recognized that Catherine, a loyal and loving wife to his brother, might have earned this moment of peaceful solitude more so than him. Haxon, what pile of papers is this that frazzles your mind so? We are running out of time before the coronation where you officially become king, and we are short 10 invitations. So acquire more. I had no time to complete such an errand, as you had me fly to and from Elisaria, might I remind you? Are these 10 letters the ones to be sent to Elisaria? That is impossible, Your Highness. That does not answer my question, Haxon. What are you saying? Please spare me, Prince Henry. Queen Bronwyn will not be present at your coronation. Haxon, sometimes you are even more annoying when you tell the truth than when you make bumbling mistakes. She is the queen of a powerful empire, Henry. You must give this up at some point. Count them again. I'm sure you made a mess of those invitations and your numbers are wrong. Why don't you focus on finding a suitable wife and fulfilling the last wishes of your late brother? Prince Henry plopped down in his chair in frustration and anger. And where do you suppose this suitable wife awaits? I am in love, Haxon. I don't suppose you want to volunteer for the position. You are in a sour mood, are you not? Of course, there are wonderful ladies here in the Celestial Isles as well, but the only one I want is Bronwyn. Any other woman pales in comparison. It won't matter who they are. There is no point in courting them. They will never be equal to her.
I sat among my ladies-in-waiting and observed the grand celebration I threw for Rose's baby from a distance, lost in my own thoughts. I contemplated how the days I looked forward to seemed to come slowly, while the days I dreaded always seemed to arrive so quickly. The sun shone brightly as carriages converged on the palace, signifying the importance of the event. Amid the fanfare, I felt so small. Rose and Aldrich sat together in a special alcove, while the concubine radiated happiness. I could not help but notice that Aldrich seemed apprehensive. Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. The crowd parted subtly to make way for me as I approached Rose and the growing pile of gifts beside her. Composed and in silence, I presented Rose my gift, wrapped in shiny paper and tied with a ribbon. The concubine's eyes shone with curiosity. "Oh, how beautiful! Thank you, Your Majesty, a sword! Oh, and look how intricately it is designed! And the jewels! The hilt is studded, and the blade is etched with such fine detail. It will be an honor for my child to have such a beautiful sword." "I am glad to see that you like it, Rose." I nodded gracefully. Having seen enough of Rose's eyes brimming with admiration, I turned to leave. I had done my part, and I was ready to return to my room, where I was safe. I could not help but be a bit relieved that she did not seem to understand the true meaning of the gift. "Wait, Your Majesty." I closed my eyes in dread, and then turned around and shone my practiced smile at her. She set the sword down on the sofa and came up to me with her hands folded on her stomach. "Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy, and I hope that this now means that we can begin a friendship." There was no question how her lovely voice, innocent demeanor, and warm gaze was enough to make up for her lack of court etiquette in other nobles' eyes. But her charm failed to impress me. Instead of responding, I turned back around. "Please, may I ask you a favor?" What favor could you possibly feel entitled to ask me? Rose put her hands together and stared at me, pleadingly. "Bless my baby." It was not unusual for people to ask the Queen to bless their baby. I could not fault her for knowing at least one tradition. However, it would not be done. "I must decline your request." The concubine's eyes widened in shock, resembling a kicked puppy. Her cheeks reddened and eyes lowered, a pitiable sight that caught her lover's eye.
"Is this really necessary?"
"If you don't want the chaos that ensues between your wife and concubine, stop forcing me to put up with Rose, and stop asking me to cater to her endless needs."
"But do you have to embarrass me in front of all these people?"
"I was just following your lead, my king." Although I noticed the nobles around us beginning to turn their attention to the drama, I did not care at the moment.
"You bless babies almost every day. Is it so difficult for you to do it once more?"
"Sometimes words are heavier than 1,000 pieces of gold."
"Do you understand what you're saying? You're refusing to bless the king's baby."
"I do, and I do not expect you to enjoy my response." Aldrich kept his face expressionless and turned around, fed up with my behavior. He stood by his concubine, who looked up at him helplessly with her wide eyes and rubbed her swollen belly. Just as I turned to leave, something came over me, and instead of returning to my quarters, I approached the sofa. "Actually, Your Majesty." Aldrich stared at me intently, rightfully questioning my intentions. I turned to address his lover. "Do you still want my blessing, Rose? If you really want it, I'll do it." Aldrich looked beyond suspicious, as if he expected that I had a knife hidden in my sleeve or my skirt. Little did he know, The most cunning women hid their knives in their tongues. "Yes, your majesty. It would be a great honor." "Then I shall do it. Dear child, be like the sword I have gifted you, gorgeous and beautiful." I looked up at Aldrich with a smug expression. Rose looked up at Aldrich brightly. "The Queen blessed our baby." But Aldrich stared at me with suspicion, wrapping his hands around Rose's shoulders without breaking eye contact with me. A fitting metaphor, I thought to myself. With a brief curtsy, I finally started my way towards my ladies-in-waiting, as Rose was stroking her stomach and talking to her unborn child. "Baby, look at them. These proud nobles all came here to see you. It's all going so perfectly. Once that vicious Viscount is gone, everything will be wonderful. Oh my." I turned back briefly to see what had shocked Rose, and saw her begin to tremble. I followed her gaze to the crowd of guests arriving, and saw her staring at a man I did not recognize. I knew it was not Duke Elegy or Viscount Rothescue, the nobles she had come to be associated with. This man was young, and actually quite handsome. I wondered what the concubine was up to now. "Please, no. Please do not let it be him. The father of my child."
Rose had become accustomed to the physical agony that came along whenever she spotted Viscount Rothescue in her vicinity. She was doing her best to grow numb to the feeling, but the face she spotted among the crowd, the green eyes and dark brown hair that once made her swoon, was something neither her mind nor her body were prepared for.
"Oh no, it is him. It's Alan."
Rose couldn't help but stare at him, and the father of her first baby was looking right back at her with his pasture-green eyes.
"Why is he here? Viscount Rothescue did threaten to reveal the presence of my child, but not the man who helped create him."
Rose paled and protectively wrapped her stomach with both hands.
"If he says even one confusing statement in front of Aldrich, I'll have him killed."
But Alan stood as still as a statue and simply stared back at Rose. He did not appear as terrified as she was. Why would he be? He didn't have anything to lose. However, he did appear to be on the verge of tears. "Miss Rose." Rose hastily rearranged her expression and turned in the direction of the gentleman calling her name. Her forced smile quickly became natural when she realized who it was.
"Duke Elegy, when did you arrive?"
"Miss Rose, I am masterful in the art of deceit. I could not help but look in the direction of where your gaze was fixed just a moment ago. Who was it that captured your attention so?"
"Nothing. No one."
Rose grabbed the Duke's sleeve in alarm. He looked down softly at the slender, scarred hand that clutched him, as if for dear life.
"I was just lost in thought, that's all."
Rose quickly dropped her hand, realizing her physical intimacy with Duke Elegy could be betraying her innermost secrets. By the time she looked back at the crowd, Alan was gone. "They must have been troubling thoughts, then. Am I right?" Duke Elegy propped himself against the sofa Rose was sitting on with one hand. He suddenly appeared strikingly wolf-like, for better or worse. The women nearby swooned, as often a wolf may seem like a noble ally, until it bares its teeth.
"I do admire your bravado, Duke Elegy. You do not avoid the reputation you garner as a socialite."
Rose did her best to shift the conversation to lighter topics, hoping Duke Elegy would not concern himself with Rose's previous attentions. She did not know what Alan was here to accomplish, but according to Viscount Rothescue's promises, he was not here to reveal the truth. But what were Rothescue's words worth? "You do not look so well, Miss Rose." Rose tilted her head, trying to appear cute, and made it seem as though she did not hear his concerns. Instead, she lifted the sword she held in her lap up to him.
"Look at this, Duke Elegy."
Duke Elegy seated himself next to Rose, and the surrounding nobles began to buzz. It was well known that Duke Elegy was a playboy, and now he was sitting close, perhaps too close, to King Aldric's scandal-ridden, pregnant concubine. "This sword was a gift?"
"Yes, Queen Bronwyn gave it to me."
"The Queen gave you this?"
"Yes, it is a gift for the baby."
"May I see?" Rose handed the sword to Duke Elegy, who withdrew it halfway from its sheath. A smile flickered across his face as he inspected the hilt and blade with a careful eye. "And you are pleased with this gift?"
"Very much so. Do you like it?"
"It is a fine sword indeed." Rose beamed with pride, but she sensed that something was off with the way Duke Elegy was addressing the gift.
"What is it? Is there something strange about the gift? Have I damaged it?"
No, nothing strange, but did the Queen say anything in particular when she gave this to you?"
"She blessed my baby to be as beautiful as the sword." "You are smiling, Duke Elegy, but it does not appear to be out of joy. Please, tell me what you are thinking."
"Miss Rose, this sword is surely quite expensive, but it is just a piece for display."
"You mean it's decorative?"
"Precisely. It has no practical use as a weapon. It cannot even be used in a courtyard fight, let alone a war." Duke Elegy looked in Bronwyn's direction. She was surrounded by her close associates, and he somehow was not surprised to see that she was watching him as well. His eyes did not leave Bronwyn as he continued to address Rose. "To give you this sword means to live in splendor and beauty, but to have no real use."
"Are you saying that she insulted me?"
Rose pressed her lips tightly together as tears began to brim in her eyes.
"She thinks I am pathetic. I am so ashamed that I praised this gift in front of everyone. All the nobles are far more intelligent than me. They must have understood the Queen's purpose. Am I the only one who didn't know? How ridiculous I must look to receive a gift given in mockery."
As if having a sixth sense for Rose's well-being, Aldrich noticed immediately when she began sobbing and rushed over, glaring at Duke Elegy, who bowed gracefully and stepped away from the sofa. "Why do you cry on such a happy day, Rose? What has happened?" Rose could not bring herself to do anything but cry. She was already frightened by Alan's presence, and now that she had been made a fool in front of everyone, it was almost too much to bear. Aldrich rubbed Rose's shoulder and glared at the nobles around the room, hoping he would intimidate someone into providing an explanation. Soon enough, Count Perdue arrived at Aldrich's side and whispered a brief overview of what he had overheard between the Duke and the concubine. "Duke Elegy has a careless tongue."
"He only helped me not to continue to look foolish."
"You are a woman of honor. You are not foolish. Do not cry."
"But I am so sad. Why did you not tell me what the Queen meant? You surely knew."
Aldrich patted Rose's shoulder silently. As he contemplated what to say, she continued to heave with sobs. "I did not think you could bear the truth, Rose." Instinctively, Rose covered her belly with her hands and bowed her head.
"I am scared. If the Queen looks down on me and the baby in front of everyone, what will she do when the prince or princess is born?"
All Rose wanted was consolation and a promise that Aldrich would protect their baby. Because Bronwyn had behaved in such a cruel way, she had no doubt Aldrich would side with her. But the look of shock on his face threw Rose for a loop. The nobles listening in on the conversation stiffened and looked at each other. "Prince or princess?" they whispered among themselves. This time, Bronwyn's intervention was not necessary to show Rose's true naivete. Aldrich shot a silent rebuke at Viscountess Verdi, who stood nearby. The Viscountess was supposed to be Rose's teacher in court etiquette. However, she hardly spoke with Rose at all anymore, and it had been a long time since they had a heart-to-heart conversation. Viscountess Verdi never had an opportunity to tell Rose that her baby would never be royalty. "Rose, stand up."
Your Majesty?
"Let us return to our quarters."
I'm all right, Aldrich. I can handle this.
"Let us go, now." Sensing her hesitancy, Aldrich turned to leave, first giving her a firm glance implying that if she knew what was good for her, she would follow. Only then did she realize he would not appease her, and she noticed that his expression seemed to hold a secret. Did he want to tell her something he could not state in public? She stood up and hurriedly followed the king out of the room.
I'm filled with anxiety, Aldrich. Why do you bring me to your room to talk? What is so serious it could not be mentioned in public?
Rose, your baby cannot be a prince or princess. Rose stared at him in shock.
What are you talking about? Why not?
Children of concubines do not receive royal titles.
But they are the children of the king. Do not all of the king's children count as royalty?
Not if they are not born from the queen herself.
Then what will you call my children? Are they not part of the royal family?
Aldrich was torn. He had enjoyed regaling Rose with stories of the nobles and royal family, but he could not do it this time. How could he tell her the truth, that her children may even pose a threat to the royals? Your children will become high nobility. They will not be royalty, but they will be treated well.
It isn't right, Your Majesty.
These are long-standing traditions, Rose.
My baby and the Queen's baby will have your blood. She became a queen through marriage anyway.
There is nothing we can do. It is the law.
Change it then.
Rose!
You are the king. You can do anything you like.
Even if you do not understand it, it is a law that is written in the great church, and I cannot change it. So from now on, do not speak of princes or princesses in front of others. Do you understand me?
Please, Your Majesty.
I will love them and give them my vast wealth and power. Even if they are not given a royal title, everyone will know that they are my children. The only thing they will be deprived of is legal succession, so there is no reason to be disappointed. All right? Rose pouted her lips and did not respond, but instead turned away from him. If Bronwyn is infertile and cannot bear children, then perhaps it will be different.
Different how?
Perhaps the baby will be adopted by the Queen. Rose stared at Aldrich, mouth agape. Refusing to stay and comfort Rose any longer, Aldrich turned to leave. Although his words were meant to comfort her, they had the opposite effect. A troubling thought crossed her mind.
If the Queen can adopt my baby, does that mean my baby is not my own?
Alan Rothescue, Rose's former lover whom she had a child with, reeled at the realization that Rose was alive and well. He searched the room until he found his father and confronted him. "You knew about this, didn't you, father?" "What do you mean, boy?" "I had heard about the king's concubine. I never imagined it would be my Rose, even though I had started to hear about how beautiful she was. The pieces didn't add up until just now. It's about time you should know she is alive and well. Pull yourself together. How can you expect me to just act normal? Are you that cruel? I did this for you, my boy, for us. We were able to come to the capital because of Rose." "But did she know I was alive?" "I can't give you the details, but you must play along. Act like you do not know her." "Act like I do not know her? We have a child together. Your grandson, Isidore. He needs his mother. I need her too. I demand that you tell me what you know about her right now." Rothescue grabbed Alan by the collar and pulled him in close. "Look over there. Do you see the king? He is deeply in love with Rose. She is having their baby. If you dare interfere, you will be sent to the dungeon. If he is to find out that you two have a child, it will be worse. Do you understand?" Alan remained silent, staring at his father. "I will take care of everything. I warn you, my boy, do not get in my way."
The day after the banquet, I ran into my brother Oscar and his closest friend, Marquis Faring, in the garden. "Hello, brother."
"Hello, little sister."
We embraced each other. He picked me up like he had when we were younger.
"Come, let's walk."
"Let's. Tell me, Oscar, how has it been ridding the world of that brutal gang, the Eternal Thousand?"
"Marquis Faring and I have accomplished much. It was because of this that Father allowed me to leave Palm. There are now other alliances that need to be put to bed. Your brother is quite good at disposing of those he wants. I'm sure this comes as no surprise to you."
"Not at all, Marquis. I trust you two are getting along well."
To be truthful, Oscar can be a bit of a nag sometimes. I help him get to the point when needed. I dare say you tend to get to the point too quickly. Perhaps, but do not blame me for the jeweler. I'm afraid that was all you."
"The jeweler?"
On our way here we had some business that needed taking care of."
"Business that I will hear about?"
"A jeweler in town had stock that he couldn't be trusted with. I relieved him of this ring so I could give it to you, for safekeeping."
"This is Uncle's ring. It has been missing since he fell in battle."
"And now it is yours."
"That is very kind of you. But I have no need for rings such as this one. It would suit you much better."
"You are the smartest person I know, Bronwyn. There is no doubt you are aware I am here for more than just a friendly visit. This business with the concubine. Had I known she was pregnant, I would have come sooner. This will change the balance of power in the court. You must be protected."
"The concubine is just that. A concubine." At that moment, out of the corner of my eyes, I spotted Rose leaning against a stone wall. She was waiting for me with Viscountess Vardy, who knew my brother. Upon seeing him, the Viscountess whispered a warning to Rose. I pulled Oscar away, knowing that if he discovered Rose's presence, there could be trouble. "Oscar, let's return to the dining hall. I'll have the kitchen bring us a fine lunch." As much as I did not want to turn from Rose, I would take a hit to my pride for the sake of Oscar. But that decision was taken from me. Rose, not heeding Viscountess Vardy's advice, approached us. "Your Majesty, I would like a word with you." "Miss Rose, please." Viscountess Vardy chased after Rose and tried to stop her, But with those words, it was done. Oscar had heard Rose's name. He knew that the woman standing before him was the concubine. "Not now, Rose, I will find you later." "No, this has gone on far too long. You have dishonoured me and the king's baby with your gift." "It would not be a bad gift for someone who is not covetous." "How dare you? You mocked me in front of everyone. I have put up with your insults for far too long. You can laugh, despise, and ignore me, but I will endure." "You poor, ignorant girl, so ashamed of the truth. You have let much get to your head." "And you forget the king no longer loves you. He loves me. Accept it." "Even if that is so, it will fade, and you will be nothing again." "The king was right. You are such a cold, heartless woman. I pity you. It's no wonder you cannot produce children. You would be lucky to be a stepmother to our child." "Excuse me?"
Concubine, you have crossed the final line.
Oscar's words broke my concentration on Rose, and I looked around. The knights in the courtyard were taking notice, gripping their spears tightly. Viscountess Verdi was reaching behind her as well. Oscar's face may have resembled mine, but he looked terrifying when he scowled. He was a warrior, hardened in battle on the frontier, and the atmosphere around him instantly changed when he was angry. "Your Majesty." Rose took a hesitant step back, surprised by Oscar's intimidating aura. As my brother approached her, she staggered further backwards.
I will rip out your tongue, girl.
"Stay back!" Rose stumbled backward toward a set of stairs she was unable to see. "Oscar, that's enough."
No, Bronwyn. This girl has shamed you. She has shamed all of us, and she shames the kingdom. She will learn her place.
"Stay away from her." Viscountess Verdi leaped forward and pulled a knife from her blouse. She had no loyalty to Rose, but she was desperate to regain favour in the court. I imagine it was merely a gesture of good faith, but it was a fatal mistake. As soon as the blade appeared, Marquis Fearing had taken hold of it, and thrust the same knife through Viscountess Verdi's heart. Rose's eyes widened in horror. "No! What have you done?" As Viscountess Verdi fell to her knees, Rose tripped backwards, down the long flight of stairs. "Oscar, no!" Rose landed with a thud on her side. A trickle of blood from her blouse pooled beneath her. "Oh, help me! Help me, please, my baby!" I called out to a knight standing nearby. "Get the doctor now!" Rose crawled on the ground with a look of agony. A crowd started gathering as Marquis attempted to pull Oscar away.
Oscar, we need to leave. Now!
Rose laid on the ground in tears, screaming. "My stomach! What have you done?" Rose's eyes trembled in fright. I stared down at her for another moment from the top of the stairs, before turning to find Oscar.
The palace doctor studied Rose intently with a serious look on his face, and Aldrich couldn't help but be impatient. Will she survive?
Yes, I believe she is coming to.
Oh.
Rose. Oh, my Rose. I'm here for you. Doctor, what of the baby?
There was blood. Doctor, please say my baby is okay.
The doctor put his head on Rose's stomach, checking. Rose, you are more important than an unborn baby. If something had happened...
It is all my fault. No, it is her fault.
Shh, don't get too worked up, my dear. You need to stay calm, for the sake of both you and the baby. Aldrich wiped the cold sweat on her forehead with a towel and glanced at the doctor, a signal to answer quickly.
You are correct, Your Majesty. Rose needs to be stabilized.
Is it because I have lost him?
Aldrich took a mental note of Rose mentioning him, then turned quickly to the doctor.
No, it's not that. I don't want to concern you more than need be. You have to be very careful in the early stages of pregnancy, regardless of injury. The baby can feel your stress, your pain. You must remain steady and calm. At the moment, you are not physically strong. It appears as if you have not miscarried, which is miraculous, but I beg of you, avoid situations like these at all costs. I will take my leave.
As soon as the doctor left, Aldrich angrily kicked the sofa. Rose's cheeks were tracked with tears as she gripped her blanket. Aldrich closed his eyes and managed a deep breath before calmly speaking. Rose, you must be wary of the Queen's brother, Oscar. You must avoid him at all costs. I will put a restraining order on him and do what I can to hold him at bay, but he is a one-man army, and he is his father's son.
You say I must be wary of him and avoid him. Surely you are not punishing me for what he has done.
You accuse the Queen of infertility in front of her brother. She is still the Queen.
Your Majesty, it is the truth.
You do not know this.
She told me I was worthless, that you will toss me out when I've had your child. Our child. Is she right?
Of course she's not right, but the Queen is someone who will go to extremes to protect her image. She could not be disrespected in front of her brother.
I am not a dog that can let anger go after being scolded, or remain unaware that I may be abandoned. I know what has happened to previous concubines. Would you give me money to support the baby if I was?
Rose!
Or would you take the baby from me, and I would never see him again?
How could you think such a thing? I would never.
The Queen may be dignified in your eyes, but she is cold-blooded. She is from a barbaric family. The nobles may treat her like a cute novelty, but they will align with whoever you align with. Aldrich, I love you, but I cannot trust or depend on you with your allegiance to the Queen. Not after this. Not after her brother pushed me down those stairs.
He pushed you. Rose realized the gravity of what she said. She could not take it back now.
He did. It wasn't hard, but he pushed me.
Aldrich's gaze suddenly turned steely. And that's how you fell down the stairs? I was briefed on the incident. No one could explain how you fell.
Oscar's companion had killed Viscountess Verdi in cold blood. Oscar had reached his hand for me next. If I hadn't fallen, I wouldn't be here now.
I will handle this, Rose. You are to stay in bed and rest. This is an order.
Okay. Your Majesty?
Yes?
I love you.
The king pulled a blanket over Rose's trembling body, then left the room. His calm lasted only a few steps, however, and when he returned to his room, he summoned his chief secretary, Marquis Carlson. Marquis, you are to place a complete ban on Oscar Troby and Marquis Faring until further notice.
Your Majesty, a restraining order on the Queen's brother.
A suspension is not enough.
He is the successor to Duke Troby, Your Majesty. Are you sure?
Oscar pushed Rose and endangered my unborn son. If he was anyone else, he would be executed. By me, personally.
You're having a son?
Yes, Marquis Carlson. According to Rose, I am. I'm forbidden from entering the palace.
Yes, Oscar. And if you push or threaten Miss Rose again, you will be punished for threatening the imperial family. I was trying to keep my brother calm after Aldrich's messenger came to deliver the news of his ban. The messenger shrank back and covertly left the room. Oscar ran rampant around my bedroom, even destroying one of my precious cushions.
I don't believe this. She says I pushed her. She would no longer be breathing if I pushed her.
Brother, please.
Tell me, Bronwyn, is there a problem with her tongue or your husband's ears?
You must calm yourself. My attempts to calm him went unheard until I began to rub his back. He held the torn cushion close to his chest and ground his teeth, but soon relented.
I'm sorry for the cushion.
It's fine. How about you? Are you all right now?
Had you not been there, I might have beaten the servant who delivered the message.
I was infuriated by the news, but I knew whatever Oscar was feeling was far more intense. Had my fiery-tempered brother simply approached the concubine, it could already be considered a threat, but to claim that she fell because my brother pushed her, to spin such a complete lie. Worse yet, Aldrich had fallen for it and banned Oscar from the palace, all because Rose was a duplicitous woman. You must learn to control your temper, or trust me, you'll regret it. You need to be careful, brother.
Careful? About that damn woman?
Did you hear that Duchess Betha got divorced?
Somewhat. Why do you ask?
Rose is the one who played a part in the divorce. She stirred up old rumours about Duchess Betha and manipulated them to be far worse.
How could she possibly?
She's not just a concubine, Oscar. She's clever. Rose has the ability to manipulate public opinion and win people's favour. Not to mention Aldrich believes whatever she says. And now she also carries Aldrich's first child. It is best not to collide with her. My brother looked me in the face and could not hold back his curses.
Ah! That damn rotten whore! That night, Oscar found himself drowning his sorrows at the local tavern with his friend and confidant, Marquise Faring. Another drink, maid! Oscar drinks slowly. Why would I do that? I want to get drunk. Leave me be, Marquise Faring. I'm worried that once you're drunk, you'll try to cross the palace wall. Why does that worry you? You can stop me, right? Are you serious? You know I can't stop you when you're sober. Why do you think I can stop you when you're drunk? The maid dropped off another pitcher of ale at their table. Oscar snorted and poured another strong drink in his glass. My mother and father nagged me as soon as I got home. They say it will be bad for Bronwyn if I take any action, so for her sake, I have to keep a low profile. Oscar. Another! I said I'll keep a low profile. This is the way it has to be, after all. I'm so mad. I've never done anything to deserve punishment. Well, I don't know about that, but this time it was undeserved. I didn't push that bitch. I saw, yet you should avoid her. If that woman has a baby, one day she will devour Bronwyn. One has to strike first. You're going to strike her. The Emperor's concubine. Yes! How? I'll find out her weakness. Really, you can't even enter the Imperial Palace. I can't go in, but my money and power can. Well, I suppose that's true. You can go in. What? You want to draw me into this? Marquise Faring looked at Oscar, as if he had swallowed something sour. You followed me into far worse battles before. Fine, Oscar. I'll follow you. So tell me, what are you going to do to dig up the concubine's weakness? When you were speaking with the Queen earlier, I asked around. There is a rumor going around that the woman was a slave. A slave? Yes. At the New Year's celebrations, a nobleman named Viscount Rothescue claimed that Rose was a runaway slave of his. Is that so? But later he amended his words and said he had the wrong person. Can we use that against her? It's going to be difficult for Viscount Rothescue to change his words back now. The king went to great lengths to bury that rumor. Then we'll figure out how we're going to take advantage of that weakness another way. Oscar covertly looked around the bar to see if any eyes were on them. He reached into his pocket and drew out a small pouch. He handed the curious item to his friend. "Let's buy some people to solve this." Marquis Faring did not need to look in the pouch for long to see the sparkling jewels they had obtained from the vanquished bandits gleaming. These jewels were collected by the Eternal Thousand, so it will be impossible to track down the owner even if they are discovered. Exactly. And there's one more thing. What is it? I need an effective abortion-inducing drug, something that harms the mother as little as possible. Are you serious? A dangerous smile spread across Oscar's lips. Dead serious, Marquis. Another! Your Highness, Lady Mulaney has arrived and is waiting for you in the drawing room. Prince Henry, sitting on his bed, looked up from the property list he was studying. He looked at Haxon with a frown. Who is Lady Mulaney? The 12th candidate for Queen. You should meet her. So this is what my days are like now. You bring me a young noblewoman from a well-known and wise family. Half of them seem to even come from the same family. I am not interested in any of them, if you haven't noticed. Is it not due time to cease? We can stop once you have chosen a queen. I cannot argue. I know better than anyone that your reasons are justified. But I don't need to be married until another year or two. It would be better if it was sooner, Your Highness. Maybe you're right. Otherwise, my sister-in-law could be caught in the middle. Prince Henry considered the many significant changes that come with a succession to the throne. Fortunately, people were most open to change at times like this, and Henry knew how critical it was that the new queen organized the court in the way that suited her. However, Prince Henry was close with his sister-in-law, and quite liked the system she had created. Henry's brow furrowed with concern. If Catherine's system endured too long into his reign, it would be nearly impossible for his queen to change anything. All right, Haxon, I will go. Even if I say no, I should still see her. There's no reason to create unnecessary grudges. That is wise, Your Majesty. Haxon quickly helped Prince Henry put on his jacket. He looked down and noticed the documents Henry had been reading. Your Highness, why are you looking at the property list? To create a new knighthood title? A new title? Yes, it will be given to the most courageous and loyal knights. Will that be necessary? Aren't there already many good knights? We're constantly in need of new talent, Haxon. Who knows? In a few years, there might be so few knights you could count them on one hand. I see. If I create a highly desirable title, the knights will compete with each other for it. One of the virtues will be loyalty, which is naturally beneficial for me. Ah, but if... Prince Henry halted suddenly, lifted his hand, signaling Haxon to be quiet. Bewildered, Haxon frantically tried to figure out why. Soon he realized why Henry had stopped him. They were near the drawing room, where Lady Mulaney was said to be waiting. They heard quiet voices coming from inside, and pressed their ears to the door to listen.
I didn't say anything I shouldn't say, did I? It was quite impertinent. I am sorry, Catherine, but you're no longer queen anymore. Am I right? The position is vacant, but I'm the closest one to it at the moment. If I may say so, you're the furthest one away from it. No one can say otherwise to me until a new queen comes, and even if I have to take a step back, I would still be the former queen. Should I listen to such talk from you, Lady Milani? You're the one who came in the first and gave me all kinds of orders. I can give orders to anyone who comes into my house. This is no longer your house, is it, Catherine? How dare you? You're not the king's mother, and if you continue to stay at the royal palace, you'll feel uncomfortable about the new queen. You'll continue to act like you're the reigning queen.
Lady Milani truly is a noble's daughter. This is why Wharton asked me to take care of Catherine, for fear of her clashing with the one rising to the top. I feel sorry for Catherine, but that is how power is distributed. Prince Henry tapped the door instead of answering Haxon. At the sound of the noise, the pair inside the room stopped talking immediately. Lady Milani and Catherine looked shocked to see Prince Henry enter the room so nonchalantly. He greeted them both with his customary smile, and Haxon tried to signal Catherine to leave. "I heard what you said, Lady Milani. I heard it all." Lady Milani's eyes widened in surprise, as did Catherine's. Before Haxon could protest, Henry continued. "The former Queen's status is a realistic problem, Lady Milani, but it is not for you to worry about." Prince Henry walked over to his sister-in-law and stood by her side. Lady Milani stuttered, paused, then gave a murmured acquiescence and smiled again. She gave a formal bow and left. Catherine stood there, deeply embarrassed. Haxon gripped his hair and let out a frustrated groan. He didn't like the fact that Prince Henry let Lady Milani go without even talking to her for 5 minutes. "Your Highness, I'm telling you, you expect too much." "Because I let Lady Milani leave?" "Because you can't get Queen Bronwyn out of your mind." "You're the one that can't get the other noblewoman out of your mind, Haxon." "Your Highness, for your sake." "Although you are in a hurry to choose a queen, a few days won't be enough to properly integrate her. Right now, I have the coronation and various other things to organize. Let's take care of those first." As Prince Henry turned to leave, Haxon startled him with his words, dropping his voice to a whisper. "You do realize, Your Highness, that if you want Bronwyn as your queen, you'll have to wage war to have her." "I wish you were the queen. It's not easy when Haxon is trying to rush it."
As I contemplated this latest message from my dear Henry, I imagined how good it would be to be the Queen of the Celestial Isles. The silver bird who delivered my message tilted its head at me, peering at the letter. Suddenly it stretched its wings and trembled, appearing almost angry. "Are you all right, bird?" The bird folded its wings and became quiet. "Majesty is great, but you're amazing too, almost like a person. Prince Henry keeps very smart birds." I went to tap on the bird's beak, but it hopped away. "I'm sorry, little fellow." I turned back to the letter, which I had not finished reading.
Coronation Day is not far away. There will be a delegation from Elisaria. Will you come as the head delegate? It would be a great honor.
After checking my schedule, I scribbled a non-committal answer and tied it to the bird's leg. I did not know how I would handle such a request. "Please deliver this to him." I tried to pat the bird, but he dodged my touch and flew away. I watched him curiously until he was out of sight. What would it be like to exchange letters with Prince Henry again after so long? The events of the past few weeks came to me like a hazy dream, until a chilly draught interrupted my thoughts. Countess Eliza, Laura, and my other ladies-in-waiting burst into the room, their eyes feverish. "Your Majesty, is something wrong?" Someone put abortive drugs in Rose's food. Oh, my, are you sure? Yes, I heard that King Aldrich himself is the one who caught it. The king had called the palace doctor and said that Miss Rose had already eaten a small amount before he stopped her. Oh dear, are Miss Rose and the baby safe? The drug itself does little harm to the parent, so Rose herself is fine. And the baby? I suppose it's been weakened, but so far it's still alive. Can I get you some tea? No, thank you, Eliza. I would like to be alone. I must prepare for the inevitable. I'll be blamed for this. I will not be hurt if Aldrich calls me again. We will surely discuss it at our next meal. Inform the king that I'm here. I stood outside my husband's bedroom. The servant at the door went inside quickly to let the king know I was ready for our meal. After several moments, I grew curious at what was taking so long. What's going on in there?
Your Majesty. His Majesty said that... Well, he didn't say anything.
I raised my eyebrows. He didn't say anything?
No.
Go in again. After another attempt, the servant returned, appearing distressed.
The Emperor still says nothing.
The knights stationed at the door exchanged glances. I narrowed my eyes at Aldrich's door, realizing he's silently blaming me. Why did he always find me at fault for anything that had to do with Rose?
Marquis Carlson, the chief secretary, sat with Aldrich discussing the Western King's coronation. Marquis Faring bought the abortive drugs, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's connected to the Queen. Oscar is the Queen's brother, and Marquis Faring is Oscar's best friend. You can't honestly believe that it's not connected. Even the Queen would not resort to this. Yes, I know that too. That is what troubles me so. Aldrich stared coldly at the floor, trying to figure out exactly what he was up against. Wouldn't Queen Bronwyn, as intelligent as she is, have been able to imagine how Oscar would react with just one word from Rose? I suppose so. I'm already being quite tolerant by refraining from dragging Oscar away by his hair and torturing him, am I not? Oscar is not to be tortured, despite his attempt to harm the Emperor's child. Aldrich's intentions baffled Marquis Carlson. Aldrich believed Rose's accusations against Oscar, but he was not seeking retribution. It was unlike him. Aldrich glanced out the window towards Bronwyn's quarters. Your Majesty, if you are concerned, you should tell Queen Bronwyn to come in. My issue is not urgent, as I could come back later. I'm sure she is already gone. You saw her leave? No, but she's the Queen. She is not accustomed to waiting. What do you mean? She would never do anything to injure her pride. Then why don't you go to her quarters, Your Majesty? I am too angry to do that. But, Your Majesty, it is certain that Marquis Faring sought the abortive drugs, correct? Instead of a direct answer, Aldrich stood up. My investigator was competent. Would you like to walk for a while? I'm in dire need of a break. Just as Aldrich and Marquis Carlson left the study and exited through the hallway, Aldrich stiffened. There was Bronwyn, standing there waiting for him. Bronwyn, I thought you had already left. I thought you were gone. Did you want to serve a punishment or something?
I thought about leaving at first. I would have done so under any usual circumstances, but I refused to yield to this nonsense. So I stood and I waited.
You always surprise me. First in your actions against Rose, and now this.
And you are very predictable in all matters concerning Rose.
I didn't think you would stoop so low as to do this to me. Would it bother you so much to repress that pride of yours on occasion?
Why should I?
I am covering your brother's crime for you, for a start.
You think it was my brother that poisoned Miss Rose?
You don't.
No.
I didn't think your judgment had been clouded yet.
My judgment is sound. It is your judgment that concerns me. I came here to talk sense to you, but you ignored me and would not even let me inside your room.
I was holding back my anger. I feared that I would not be able to if I caught sight of you.
Aldrich took half a step backward, gave me a glance, and then brushed past me. I was sure he was going to Rose's room, but he surprised me by going in a different direction, and then surprised me even further by turning his heel and approaching me again.
I am too angry to move on. If you think your brother is innocent, you should investigate.
It is your job to investigate who is trying to hurt your lover and your child.
But it will hurt you if I investigate.
How could it possibly?
If Oscar is the criminal, my people will be angry at him for trying to hurt my child. No matter what, I will have to reveal the truth that it was my wife's brother. And blame will fall on you as well.
Do not pretend to be concerned for me. Aldrich's expression twisted, and he leaned in with a threatening growl.
Investigate it. Then come to me and apologize if I'm right.
I stared at him defiantly, but I could not bring myself to say with confidence that my brother had nothing to do with this. It was very possible that he did. As I lay in bed later that evening, I reflected on Aldrich's words. Did Oscar really make that decision for my sake? To find the answer, I had to find the truth. I was shaken from these thoughts as Eliza entered my room. May I comb your hair ahead of your evening rest, Your Majesty? Yes, thank you, Countess Eliza. Have you heard that the maids and the chefs were expelled from the palace? Expelled? Why? Because they did not notice the drug was mixed in with Rose's food. Did they catch the culprit? They did not. After Countess Eliza left, I sat alone in the front of the dresser and looked at my face in the mirror. I could not understand Aldrich's intentions. Did he really turn over the investigation to me for my sake, or did he have something more sinister in mind? I drifted into dreams with these questions still lingering in my thoughts. The next morning, I began my investigation. It would have been best to talk to my brother directly, but he was banned from entering the palace. The only person I could think to ask about this incident was Marquis Faring, my brother's most trusted confidant. Countess Julia. Yes, Your Majesty. Please find Marquis Faring and bring him to me. Yes, Your Majesty.
Ah, Haxon, you've returned already. The silver bird fluttered into the room and landed on King Henry's desk, covered with papers. King Henry's violet eyes twinkled as he looked at his friend, whose silver feathers gleamed in the light of the western sun. Delicately, King Henry reached for the letter tied to the bird's leg. Just as King Henry unfastened the paper, the bird jerked away and stepped back. The moment he was free of his letter, Haxon transformed back into a man. Yes, Your Highness, I have returned already. Your kingdom is undergoing many massive changes, and I must oversee them in between the tasks you assign me as delivery boy.
I thought you could use a vacation.
I am suffering for you, Your Highness. Please don't let the entirety of the Celestial Isles suffer as well, just because you are obsessed with the queen of a competing nation.
Relax, Haxon. As you were soaring through the sky, I was hard at work with some highly classified documents I took from Elisaria.
I have been quite concerned with the declining number of sorcerers in Western territories, and I would like to glean a bit of knowledge from the East, which is teeming with wizards."
"Oh. Well, I still must implore that you abate your obsession before it gets in the way of your duty. Please do not forget where your loyalty must lie."
In the hubbub of his arrival back home and the conversation with King Henry, Haxon had forgotten to clothe himself post-transformation. His cheeks reddened. "Please do dress yourself, cousin." King Henry chuckled as he sat down to read the note from Bronwyn. Haxon quickly dressed in the corner, sick and tired of being the butt of his cousin's jokes. Suddenly, King Henry's bemused mood shifted, and gloom overtook his face. He scanned the note over and over again, as if he were going to find something new in there.
"I do very much look forward to your coronation, dear King, my dear friend. However, I must temper your hopes, as I have much to tend to here in Elisaria. Please know I will be there in spirit, whether or not my physical presence joins you."
"She will not come."
"Oh, you cannot be certain?"
"Oh, do not feign ignorance with me, as if you did not read her note, as if you did not watch her write it." As King Henry set the note on his desk, he laid his head down on top of it, squeezing his eyes shut.
"You must take care of yourself, Your Majesty."
Typically, Haxon would understand that the king's silence and state of mind meant it was time to leave him, but he feared for the well-being of the Celestial Isles far too much to leave its new king in such a state.
"I did hear a great deal of chatter while in Elisaria, I will have you know."
"What is it, Haxon? Is Aldrich mistreating Bronwyn again?"
"An abortive drug was discovered in the food of King Aldrich's concubine. It caused quite a stir."
"Ah, I see. Perhaps that is what keeps Queen Bronwyn so busy."
"I do not believe so, but she is likely tied to the scandal in some way, shape, or form."
"What do you mean? Spit it out, man!"
"It is rumored that her brother, Oscar, is the one who planted the drugs."
"Is she all right?"
"Miss Rose and the baby appear to be alive and well." "No, not the foolish concubine! How is Bronwyn?" "I assume she is holding up well, considering that she is not the one who was poisoned, Your Majesty."
"How is King Aldrich treating her?"
"I do not know."
With that, Haxon realized it was time to leave. Even a scandal from Elisaria could distract his cousin. He could stand it no longer. "Before you go, I need one more thing from you, cousin." With that, King Henry handed Haxon the small piece of paper he had just scribbled upon. "Please pass this on to Duke Elegy."
"You want me to fly back to Elisaria?"
King Henry shrugged and smiled. "Unless you want me to go." Rose beamed as she looked around the room at the party the king had thrown in her honor. Sure, it was small, and there were no formal invitations, but it was for her. She did not care that a third of the people were probably just there to rub elbows with upper nobility. They rained her with praise anyway, and she would take what she could get, as long as she was the center of attention. Especially since the hateful Queen Bronwyn was not in attendance. It seemed as though nothing could spoil Rose's mood, until a noblewoman came up to her, arm in arm with a petite, yellow-haired woman whom Rose recognized immediately. Her arms flared in goosebumps.
"Hello, Miss Rose. It is my pleasure to introduce to you this lovely young woman. I believe you will get along swimmingly. This is Liliana Rothescue.
As if Rose had not known. She recognized her enemy's daughter at once. And as if that were not enough, Rose began to realize that the nobles around her were snickering with laughter, looking at her with amusement. They exchanged mischievous glances, and that is how Rose realized that this meeting was deliberate. She may be uneducated, but she was not naive enough to miss an attempt to humiliate her. She hardened as she realized that despite her efforts to bury the old rumors about her under a number of high-profile scandals, many nobles still wondered, perhaps even believed, that she was indeed Viscount Rothescue's runaway slave. They watched her as if they were betting on her reaction. Instead of giving them what they wanted, though, Rose planted a cheerful smile on her face and grinned through the pain.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Liliana.
Even Liliana looked surprised. Rose did not know whether she was there to destroy her reputation, but before she could find out, she heard a gentleman's voice calling out to her. Was it a savior, perhaps? "Excuse me! Excuse me!" But before Rose could breathe a sigh of relief, she realized that the person who came to her rescue was Liliana's brother, Alan. He was the father of her child and the son of her enemy. He glanced at Rose, but did not greet her. He instead pretended they had never met and rushed his sister away. Soon after, the crowd of people surrounding Rose dissipated, no longer interested in her. She was no longer able to enjoy the party and had no interest in mingling with the snakes who pretended to be her friends. Once she had a chance, she made her way to the doorway. She craved the comfort of her bed. But before she could leave entirely, she ran into Alan once again. "My father told me to pretend not to know you, but I thought you would want to know. About Isidore." Rose leapt forward to cover Alan's mouth and was momentarily distracted by the feeling of his soft lips and coarse beard on her hand. It had been so long since they had touched, but she quickly snapped back to reality.
Do you dare to threaten me?
Alan looked at her, bewildered, and gently removed her hands from his face. He shook his head morosely. "Really, I would never. I just thought, well, I heard you set the mansion up in the capital for Isidore. I thought you wanted him near." Rose's eyes widened at the realization that one other person knew she had a relationship with Viscount Rothescue. It was dangerous territory for Alan to believe Rose wanted to be involved in their family life. She was royalty now.
You seem to be forgetting the part where your father blackmailed me into providing that home.
Oh, I did not know. Isidore is healthy. He is very beautiful.
So?
I thought you would want to know.
Why, in the name of the gods, would I want to know anything about you or your family?
You have been through a great deal of trouble. You thought your child was dead.
You saw me suffering back then, and you chose to ignore me. Now I am saved. From you.
I am so sorry, Rose. I was so scared.
And I was not.
Not as much as me. You couldn't have been. You had nothing to lose. I had everything. I could not choose you over everything. It had been a long time since Rose felt so small. She scoffed and raised her arms as if to show him the beauty of the ornate room they stood in.
Well, I have a lot to lose now. Your father told you to pretend not to know me, so do it. And tell your disgusting sister to behave properly.
Rose glared at Alan like he was an insect, then brushed past him. She found it positively exhilarating to turn the tables on her former lover and his father, her former master. In her head, she was making her way towards her quarters, but found herself at Duke Elegy's room, which was unguarded. She decided to enter without knocking. It might have seemed presumptuous to an onlooker, but Rose cared not. This was her home, a place she could do as she pleased. That bastard! Rose looked at her friend Duke Elegy and saw him reading a letter in one hand while a small silver hawk on his desk eyed him carefully, as if it was trying to see the contents of the note.
Duke Elegy?
Oh! The silver hawk took off out the window, and the Duke put whatever he was reading into his pocket. To what do I owe the pleasure, Miss Rose?
Is everything all right? You were using some harsh language.
Oh, you need not pay that any mind. Just some crazy friend of mine, appearing to be losing his mind. Ordinarily, Rose would have revelled in a story of noble gossip that had nothing to do with her. But tonight there were more pressing matters at hand. She caught her friend the Duke up on her current situation.
The Rothescue family wants to take me down, and they are using Isidore against me. I am worried about what will happen.
Viscount Rothescue has too much to lose for his children to step out of line with loose lips.
That is a relief, then.
Your face is telling me you have more to discuss.
Who poisoned me?
I do not believe anyone knows.
I'm so afraid. How do I keep myself and my child safe?
Duke Elegy adopted his signature smile that fell somewhere between friendly and wicked. I have 2 ideas.
Yes?
Ask your lover directly for help. He would do anything for you, would he not?
I fear it is too passive an approach. I have tried. What is the other way?
Play the offence. Attack your enemies before they attack you.
But she is far more powerful.
Duke Elegy smiled at the confirmation they were discussing who he had hoped. Queen Bronwyn.
She will stop at nothing. I fear her. I hate her.
If only you held higher status.
I am just a slave. I always will be.
What if we create you were born into nobility, then a terrible accident occurred, and you were raised as a slave?
Would anyone believe that? And even if they did, what would I even do with my new nobility? The Queen would still outrank me.
Not for long.
What do you mean?
After we up your nobility, we will make sure you become the Queen. Duke Elegy leaned down and whispered softly in Rose's ear. Imagine it, dear Rose. Your parents were looking for a lost baby. Then, when you became the king's concubine and rumors of your beauty spread, they came to see you.
It's like a fairy tale.
Exactly. It is a fairy tale. That is why people will love it. That is why they will love and adore you. Duke Elegy's eyes gleamed eagerly. Do you have a family? Do you know your family?
No, they abandoned me.
Even better. So, maybe the story is true. Maybe your parents are royals who have been looking for you. There are certainly plenty of poor nobles who would love to play the role of your parents. It will be like a play. Duke Elegy gave a chuckle of satisfaction. It may look too obvious if we choose a noble family from Elisaria. I will arrange to have a family sent here from my country.
Rose was too dazed to answer properly.
Yes, chosen parents. My chosen parents. Not disgusting criminals who sold their daughter into slavery, but proud, noble ones. My real parents don't deserve to claim me as their offspring. They're replaceable. Will the king believe this? Why didn't I tell him this from the beginning?
Because you are humble, Rose. And that's exactly what you need to be for Aldrich to see you as the next queen.
The next queen.
The Duke waved his finger in front of Rose, drawing her focus away from her thoughts.
Rose?
I'm sorry. The idea is just so exciting.
Do you understand what I've said?
Yes, of course.
This plan may sound easy and wonderful, but this is a dangerous game. However, I think it is the only way you can protect yourself from the Queen.
It is the only way to protect myself, period. It has to be done.
She spoke with a resolute expression on her face, and Duke Elegy covered his mouth and chuckled.
Then it is settled. You must promise me one thing.
Duke Elegy, you will be very well compensated when I am queen.
That is very kind of you, but that is not what I meant. No matter what anyone says, you must never submit yourself to any questioning that you are not related to your parents by blood.
Of course, I agree.
Rose twisted her fingers nervously when she asked her next question.
Then, how do I proceed? Just because I'm a noblewoman doesn't mean I am queen.
The Duke brushed his hand against her cheek.
Oh, Rose, those eyes. You can be so convincing.
Rose blushed. She reached out for the Duke's hand and held it close to her chest.
Can you teach me how to become a queen? You've already taught me so much.
I can only take you so far. There is much you need to learn. Is it true that you can read?
I can read whatever you'd like me to read.
Good. You are to keep studying. Take as many classes as you can.
Rose's expression changed when she heard these words. This was not what she wanted to hear.
What's the matter? Don't you want to be queen?
I have gone this far without the need to study. My maids have studied, you have studied, yet I am the one in line to be queen. I fear it is unwise to start now.
Queen Bronwyn's reputation stands on her intelligence. A queen must be smart. Or at least it must appear that she has knowledge when duty calls. This is not only necessary to becoming a queen. It is essential to remaining a queen.
Rose sat down on Duke Elegy's lap and placed her hands on his thighs.
Do you think I'm not already well prepared?
A direct attack on the queen will cause backlash. The first thing you need to do is raise your profile as high as the queen's. And at that point, you can fight.
The Duke slipped his hands around Rose's waist and pulled her closer.
The nobles look down on me now because of their prejudice. Do you really believe that will stop if I prove my intelligence?
No, of course not. That's why you must win the favor of the common people. You must make them believe you represent them.
Oh, I see.
You do know that half of the council members are commoners, right?
I did not.
In truth, it is simply an honorary position, and the council doesn't have much function, but it holds a lot of meaning for the common people. It's simple. If we get the lawmakers to support you, we'll win the support of the common people too.
And how do we do this?
The Queen is popular, but she has an overly aristocratic image. She was born into a prestigious family and became a princess even before her societal debut and engagement to the Crown Prince.
Such privilege. A woman like that can't relate to anyone but royalty. No wonder she feels the need to chill the warm air around her. If I was born a princess, I would have lived among the people. I would let them know I am one of them, and that I will always have their interests at heart. I would promise to be there for them, not just the royals.
You learn fast, my dear. No matter how well the Queen treats the common people, they cannot help but feel the separation between them. Dig into the cracks. Be sure to create your image as someone who can understand and sympathize with the commoners. Rose looked at Duke Elegy and smiled. The heat between them had built remarkably, yet as much as they wanted to act on those urges, they knew it could endanger Rose's chances of becoming queen. Rose slowly lifted herself off of Duke Elegy's lap, letting her hands linger against the Duke's chest as she got up.
After looking over the important issues that had been resolved for the day, I returned to the Eastern Palace. I lounged in my parlour room with my ladies in waiting, when Laura returned with news of yesterday's outing. She handed the bags that occupied her hands to Countess Julia, before quickly approaching me with shining eyes. "I did what you asked, Your Majesty." "I can tell by your expression alone that things have worked out." "Yes, Your Majesty. Lady Alice introduced Viscount Rothescue's daughter to that woman in front of a crowd." "And what was her reaction?" Laura couldn't help but laugh. "The concubine tried to hide her expression, but it was too late, and Viscount Rothescue's daughter didn't even think about controlling her own face." After having my own reputation tarnished because of Rose, Laura seemed giddy at my request. She danced in excitement, then smiled sheepishly when Countess Eliza shot her a glare. Her meekness did not last long, however, and she slapped the sofa with renewed energy. But just when things were getting interesting, a stranger pulled Viscount Rothescue's daughter away. "What do you mean, a stranger?" "Well, it is rumoured that he is Viscount Rothescue's son. Oh, and the daughter's name is Liliana, Your Majesty." "You've done well, Laura." Laura preened at the compliment. "Thank you, Your Majesty." "What kind of person is Lady Liliana?" "Oh, she's very bright, and she hasn't made a formal debut in society yet. Lady Alice seems to like her, though." "Tell Lady Alice to befriend her, and bring Liliana back to me." "Yes, Your Majesty." When Laura left the parlour room, Countess Eliza spoke. "Your Majesty, I thought you didn't want to get involved with the concubine. Why have you changed your mind?" "Because the moment to live in ignorance has passed. The attempt on the baby was a plan no one should be proud of. Rose claimed I was infertile, then she lied about my brother pushing her. It's unforgivable. She must be punished. She is so desperate for the baby to become part of the royal family, and I am going to let her know in advance that will never happen. A proper line must be drawn."
Count Perdue spoke words meant to reassure the king, but they did bear truth. Aldrich's expression remained stern. "That isn't the problem, Count Perdue." "What do you mean, Your Majesty?" "The nobles ignore Rose too much." "There are some nobles that do ignore commoners, but there are many more people who think that Rose is a sweet and lovely concubine. Such purity is rarely seen in high society." "Do they think of her as weak?" "What do you mean, Your Majesty?" "She's sweet and lovely, yes. Great for a first impression, but not an indication that she is capable of more." "I see." "It would be a compliment to a normal aristocrat, but Rose will soon be the mother of the king's child.
The nobles will have to respect her to some degree.
Alas, yes. They wouldn't have played such a trick on her in the first place if she were respected.
Is it possible to increase the status of a concubine rumored to be a former slave? Perhaps if enough time passes.
Perhaps. Your Majesty, I have something else to report. It's about Viscount Rothescue.
Go on. We are still monitoring his estate, yes?
Indeed. There have been a number of people seen coming and going from his residence.
Are they his family, or his own people?
I don't believe so. Apparently they are all asking about Rose.
You mean they want to know if she really is a slave or a commoner?
Yes, that is their purpose.
Find out who is behind this.
Yes, Your Majesty.
When they finished discussing Rose, Baron Lant, who had been quietly listening to the two men's conversation, carefully addressed the king.
Your Majesty.
What is it?
Rose asked me to pass on a request.
A request? What is it?
She is keen to learn aristocratic etiquette to help her in court life.
Aristocratic etiquette? Why?
I believe it's for the same reason you were discussing with Count Perdue. She wants to strengthen her image.
This isn't a bad thing. Assign her the best teacher. Despite my agreement, I am afraid that Rose's charm will diminish.
She will only act more formally, Your Majesty.
Even 10-year-old children behave similarly to adults after they've been given aristocratic lessons. Rose will be the same as the other nobles, with her refreshing qualities erased. Aldrich sunk into a deep gloom. Rose wouldn't be as exciting if she was like everyone else, but because she was pregnant with his baby, her character couldn't be ignored.
I deeply wished to attend Henry's coronation, but with the ongoing threat to my position at court, I could not pull myself away. It was decided that Grand Duke Lavilla would instead be the representative from Elisaria. He seemed very pleased to lead the trip. Lavilla smiled proudly when he listened to Aldrich's words of encouragement, but when I gave my own farewell address, he fixed his face into a solemn expression and looked downwards. Grand Duke Lavilla used to pursue me, even though I continually turned down his bribes. Now that he was close to Rose, he had decided he would no longer act in a way that hurt his pride. After he departed, I went to an upstairs window to watch the delegation as they slowly exited the courtyard gates. The crowds gathered to see the procession snake its way down the large road away from the capital. It saddened me to watch the carriages gradually become more distant. And now I lay here in my bed, drifting in and out of dreams, longing for the day Henry and I would meet again.
Who says that day needs to be so far away?
Henry? How is this possible? Are you really here?
Does it matter?
No, of course not. I ran to him and looked into his violet eyes. He held out a beautiful diamond ring, a stone larger than any Aldrich had gifted me. Oh, Henry, how can a dream leave me with something so beautiful?
When it's more than just a dream.
He seemed as real as ever, yet I knew in my heart that this couldn't be happening. He put his hand on my cheek, and I kissed him.
I wish you were with me today.
I do too. I miss you so. I want nothing more than to be with you in the Celestial Isles. From here I can only pray for your nation's peace and your well-being. He took my hand and placed the ring he was holding on my finger. It was a perfect fit, I stared deeper into his eyes.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
At the sound of Henry's voice, my eyes opened. I quickly realized I had drifted to sleep in my chambers. I heard a flutter of wings that sounded like Majesty, but it couldn't have been. Or could it? I ran to my parlour to see if any of my ladies had noticed if a bird had visited me in my sleep. I was shocked to find a visitor waiting for me there.
Your Majesty, are you okay?
Duke Elegy, I didn't expect to see you here. Duke Elegy looked casually rumpled, with his partially unbuttoned shirt and creased clothes. He grinned as he approached me.
It's been a while, hasn't it, Your Majesty? I very much would like to visit you once in a while, and I don't often have a chance.
I too hope there will be a good opportunity someday. I tried my best to politely pass him by, but Duke Elegy deliberately held on to the conversation.
There's no good time like the present.
I'm afraid now is not a good time, Grand Duke.
Then I hope you won't mind if I walk with you for a while, since we're walking in the same direction.
Very well.
I thought Her Majesty was to be part of the delegation to the Celestial Isles.
Unfortunately, that's not possible.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know someone who will be very disappointed.
Who? I assumed Duke Elegy meant Henry, but his answer surprised me even more.
Lady Rose. You must know she likes it when you are away.
Excuse me?
Apologies, Your Majesty. I hope my remark didn't offend you.
Of course not. It sounds like something she would say.
Does it? Between us, tell me how you feel about Lady Rose.
How would you expect a queen to feel about a concubine?
You avoid questions so well.
It is because I am not a concubine. I am a queen. What answer were you looking for?
An honest one.
If there is something you have to say to me, Duke Elegy, just say it.
As you wish. It is an ugly thing to harass the weak, Your Majesty.
If a weak person came running at you with a knife, you wouldn't allow yourself to be stabbed, would you? If you meet a weak enemy, would you throw away your weapon? No. Or perhaps you would befriend them, have them give you the knife, and stab them when they turn away. Am I right?
Why don't you go ahead and stab me then?
I have better things to do.
Go ahead, Your Majesty. Ease my guilt.
Your guilt? Duke Elegy didn't answer, but instead excused himself as he walked off in a different direction.
Here we are, about to take different paths. Remember, Henry was the one who brought me here. Have a lovely day, Your Majesty. I hope you get to wherever you're going safely.
Rothescue settled onto a plush sofa and contentedly sipped his tea. He felt truly blessed. He had a splendid mansion, numerous servants, noble status, a hometown that he could return to at any time, 2 reliable children, good health, and a successful slave that helped set him up here.
How wonderful this life is!
There were only 3 things left that he wanted. He wanted his wife's health to improve, so they could enjoy their happiness together. He wanted his son to marry a woman from a good family, and he wanted his daughter to marry a man from an equally good family. He had high hopes for both of his children, despite the fact that Alan had no talents at all. He was ashamed of Alan for pampering a slave-born baby. Alan knew how his father felt about Isidore, but he didn't care.
Liliana! Liliana! Lady Liliana is out with her new friends. She is out with friends? Yes, they are all people from great families. She has such a great personality. She gets along well with everyone.
Yes, she does. Rothescue turned to see Alan feeding Isidore in the next room.
You are wasting your time with that creature. Can't it feed itself?
How do you expect a baby to feed itself, Father?
He is already 9 months old. He is a slave child, you idiot. Your sister is going to make her societal debut this year. Don't you understand how important this is? Don't just sit at home looking after that baby. Go socialize with the other nobles. I have paved the way for you.
You didn't do that for us. You did it for yourself. You're not fooling anyone.
Go make friends like your sister is. At least do it for her so someone can escort her to the debutante ball.
Do you think she would approve of whoever I choose? She thinks I have strange tastes.
She's right. Just look at your child.
The baby burst into tears.
Shh. It's okay, Isidore. It's okay.
How can you waste your time taking care of a boy we could never show in public? It's pathetic.
At that moment, Liliana returned home, bubbling over with excitement.
Hello, I'm home.
Liliana, come here, sweetheart. Gerald, get her a blanket.
Yes, master.
Tell me, daughter, what lightens your day?
Yes, Father. I will get to meet Her Majesty the Queen.
Who?
The Queen, Father.
Wonderful.
Is something wrong?
Nothing is wrong. Stay here.
Where are you going?
To the palace. And Liliana?
Yes?
We will talk about this later. Do not do anything else today. Understood?
Rothescue went straight to the palace to meet Rose. Although she greeted him with her usual disdain, he ignored it. He wouldn't kill his golden goose over a moment of anger.
Why is Liliana meeting with the Queen?
She's what?
The Queen is meeting with Liliana. If you didn't know already, you do now.
She must be trying to use this against me.
I want my daughter kept out of this.
Then keep them out of it. Keep both Liliana and Alan away from the palace.
I intend to.
Rothescue had come running to her with unwelcome news, but now he had a large smile on his face. Rose's anger flared when she saw it. She so wanted to violently overturn all the tables and chairs in the room.
I'm getting tired of you bothering me. I have a lot going on right now that does not concern you.
Although Rothescue didn't have anything else to say, he didn't leave. Rose glared at him. He usually made excessive demands from her. Whether it was money, jewelry, a big mansion, or money to hire more servants. The fact this was likely coming next made her blood boil.
Why aren't you leaving?
I would have assumed you know how this works by now.
What else do you want?
Why are you in such a hurry?
Because you are slow.
Okay then. I'll get to the point. Spring is debutante season, don't you know?
And?
My daughter will be a debutante this spring.
Let me guess. You want a dress. Where is the money I've given you? You see all this? This is mine for my baby. You no longer have a claim to anything that is mine.
I am not asking for money.
Then get to the point.
There are many famous designers who work for their high-profile clients for free.
Fine. I will have my lady-in-waiting take care of this.
She is only to use the finest fabrics and jewelry. Do you understand?
This is my money, not yours. And there is not enough money in the world to make your daughter look any less hideous than you.
The mood in the room changed. The conversation was taking a turn. They both felt it.
I have my limits, Viscount Rothescue, and I am reaching them. You forget how close I am to the executioner, and how close you are getting to him too.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. If anything were to happen to me, there are people who will reveal who you really are before you have time to blink.
Rothescue has visited Rose again, Your Majesty.
Very good. Thank you, Sir Artemis. After Sir Artemis reported the news of Rothescue, my ladies-in-waiting exchanged anxious glances with each other. I casually returned to reading the book about Red that Grand Duke Bjorn had given me. Although trade between our countries was now unlikely, it wasn't impossible, but Countess Eliza was eager to know more about my plans. Is this why Lady Liliana is coming here tomorrow? Are you trying to find out information about Rose? No, Eliza, I don't need information from Liliana. My calm indifference wasn't for show. I did not expect Liliana could tell me anything about Rose I didn't already know. Then why did you invite her here? Let's just call it a warning.
Liliana kept changing clothes in preparation for her meeting with the Queen the following day.
Lady Alice said the Queen had the coldness of a high noble. I'm not sure what that means. It's also been said that the daughters of nobles in possession of large estates may become ladies-in-waiting to the Queen. I wonder if it means I can't. Just because I'm from a little country estate shouldn't mean I can't become a lady-in-waiting. I'm sure the Queen will make an exception if I please her.
Hello, Liliana.
Father, how do you like my dress? It looks wonderful, doesn't it? I'm so excited.
Yes, dear. As always, you look stunning. Liliana, I'd like to speak with you about your meeting with the Queen.
Yes?
I think it would be wise that you be careful about what you say.
His expression was unusually grave.
Oh, Father, why do you think I would be rude in the palace? I promised to treat her with the utmost respect.
Yes, Liliana, but you have to be more careful than that.
I promise not to disgrace myself.
I'm not concerned about that. Do not mention Rose and Isidore. Do you understand?
I do. The king will be jealous if he finds out that my brother was Rose's lover, and that they have a baby together.
He will show no mercy towards us. A powerless family like ours will be destroyed under the king's wrath. So please, be careful. Why do you think the Queen would suddenly summon a young woman who comes from a family such as ours, and who has not even made her social debut?
It's because Lady Alice—
No, Liliana. There is more to politics than the fantasy image of kings and queens. The Queen is using you to keep Rose in check. This is a warning to her. Rose is the Queen's rival.
Oh, Father, I'm not being used by anyone.
You have never met Rose. Do you understand?
Why do you insist on the worst in people? There is so much good you refuse to see.
Just act wisely. Keep this in the back of your mind and understand that there will be repercussions to your words. You may be young, but you are very, very smart. I know you will do nothing to harm this family. The Queen will be lucky to have you as her guest. I'll see myself out.
Today was the day Lady Alice was bringing Rothescue's daughter, Liliana, to visit. After I finished my work, which involved deciding where to allocate the national budget, I returned to the palace and changed my clothes into something more inviting. You look relaxed, Your Majesty. That's good. Our guest should feel comfortable. Meeting aristocratic children is not new to me. Today is different, though. The purpose is nuanced. Please prepare some tea. Lady Alice has let us know Liliana would enjoy cookies. The chef has prepared pastries for her. Excellent. Your Majesty, presenting Lady Liliana Rothescue. She has arrived a little early. Some of the other ladies will be following shortly. Hello. How are you, Your Majesty? Wonderful to meet you, Liliana. Please come in. Oh, you know my name? Of course I do. I hear you're headed for a bright future. Liliana blushed. She was far cuter than I anticipated. I did not expect to take such an immediate liking to her. Thank you, Your Majesty. To be honest, I would hope to be one of your ladies-in-waiting one day, although I know that because of my background it isn't likely. That is up for me to decide. I'm told I have good instincts. I can tell you'd be among the best of them. Thank you, Your Majesty. I hear you lived in the countryside. Despite appearances, that sounds lovely to me. It would be a refreshing break from palace intrigues. Would you allow me to live vicariously and tell me all about this? Having a variety of perspectives is so useful for a lady-in-waiting. Of course! Over the next 2 hours, Liliana told me about her life before arriving at court. I did not expect to feel the compassion I felt. She was adorable, so pure. Not at all what I'd expected after what I knew of her father. Once she departed, my ladies-in-waiting were eager to share their thoughts. She is very fond of you, Your Majesty. She was quite disappointed when she left. It was very kind of you to give her hope as a lady-in-waiting. Were you being sincere? As a matter of fact, I was. She really captured me. 'Tis a shame you didn't ask about Rose. That's true. Was there a reason you didn't mention her, Your Majesty? The fact that she didn't bring Rose up, or anything about her, spoke volumes in itself. Her father must have warned her against it. If she didn't truly feel the way she said, she wouldn't have come. It was risky. This means there is genuine affection there. She mentioned her brother Alan. I'd like to know more about him. I don't want to pressure her to say more than she's comfortable with, but that may come naturally. Do you suppose Rose knows about Liliana coming to visit? Wouldn't the king become angry if he were to find out? I considered this as well. I can handle Aldrich. The purpose was to warn Rose that I know she's hiding something, that I will soon find out about. It went better with Liliana than I thought it would. It was a good call to bring her here. She gave me more than enough information. Lady Liliana must know Rose well, do you agree? Yes, I believe so. It would have been impossible not to hear about her. She is the king's concubine at the end of the day. And there are also the rumours of her being her father's slave. She must be a thorn in Rose's side, especially since Rothescue humiliated Rose at the party, and continues to visit her. Do you think the king has realised the truth? I would assume he has accepted she was a slave. It's only natural he tries to squash the rumours. If Rothescue is blackmailing Rose, I don't think it's because of her background as a slave. That would be too simple. What do you mean? I'm not sure. But I would say she has something more she's hiding. I don't think it's only Rothescue who knows. I'll send someone over to the estate. I'd like to know what this is all about as well.
Liliana swayed down the white corridor in a dreamlike mood. She had only seen the Queen's likeness from portraits before, but now she had sat with Her Majesty and seen her up close. The Queen had even smiled at her, drank tea with her, and offered her hope she could be a lady in waiting. To Liliana, this was far more thrilling than her spectacular new mansion and servants. This was a dream come true.
Next time I'll bring cookies to the party. She will surely want me as her lady-in-waiting when she tries my cooking.
When Liliana turned the corner, Rose was waiting for her with her arms crossed.
You think the Queen would select you as one of her ladies-in-waiting? It's you. What do you want, Rose? It seems you've been treated well, more than I can say you deserve. The charm of your company? You broke my brother's heart. I have nothing to say to you. Why did you meet the Queen? That's my business, not yours.
As Liliana tried to walk away, Rose put her arm up, blocking her.
Tell me what you said to her. It doesn't matter, now let me pass. Did you tell her anything? About what? About your brother? Or the baby?
A smug smile spread across Liliana's face. Even though Rose was the king's mistress, she was still shackled to the past. This was a secret that could destroy her.
I have no interest in talking to you or about you, especially to Her Majesty the Queen. Neither does she. You're worth nothing.
Rose's cheeks flushed with anger at the insult.
What did you say? Having a baby with my brother doesn't make you a noble, and sleeping with the king won't make you royalty. You will always be a slave.
Rose's anger burst, and she slapped Liliana against her cheek. Liliana fell to the ground, blood dripping from her nose.
You're insane!
Rose slowly walked over to Liliana, kneeled down, and grabbed her by her hair.
If you dare do anything I dislike, I will tell the king and he will lock you up for threatening his baby. I don't know what game you're playing, Liliana, but I'm warning you. Do not play with me. Such grace, just like a slave. You forget, slave. We have your baby because you abandoned him. My father will make you pay for this, no matter what you do.
Rose feared that Liliana was right and let her go. As she walked away, Rose called out to her.
You know that I didn't know about the baby. Your father led me to believe he was dead. Something only someone like him would do.
Unsure whether to believe this, Liliana proceeded out of the castle. When she was gone, Rose nervously bit her thumb. Liliana would certainly tell her father about this, which would most likely cost her dearly. Now she hated the thought of finding Liliana the dress even more than before. I hear you enjoyed yourself today.
Midway through having dinner with Aldrich, he spoke as I was silently pouring dressing over my salad.
You invited some of the noble girls for a get-together. How did it go?
I didn't know if he was being sarcastic, because I didn't invite Rose. Or was he referring to Liliana? He didn't look angry, nor did he sneer. He was simply focused on his dinner. Yes, in fact, I did. They were lovely. I felt quite rewarded afterwards.
That's nice to hear. You should invite people you like and spend more time with them. You are always preoccupied with your work. It's nice to see you take a break every so often.
That's kind of you, Aldrich. I think you're right.
Don't forget, Bronwyn, your well-being is the well-being of the country.
Indeed. I watched Aldrich with a careful eye. We'd been fighting a war of nerves lately, But now his attitude was similar to what it was like before Rose appeared. What has changed? Was this a change in strategy? Was he setting an example for Rose? Or did he think that if he was kinder to me, I would in turn be kinder to Rose? I decided to try to change the subject. I heard that the Mage's office requested that we send over a Grand Scholar. Is that right?
Yes, you heard correctly.
Technically speaking, I know matters regarding the Mage's office and Grand Scholars aren't under my jurisdiction. However, the Mage Army is a bastion of power. Any issue affecting them is a cause for concern. Is this because of the decline in mages?
Yes, it is. So far, it's not clear whether the number of mages born is decreasing. But there is a report claiming that mages have suddenly been losing their abilities.
Is that so? It was my understanding you're either born with magical abilities, or you're not.
It was all of our understanding.
If this is true, then maybe it is also possible that a non-mage could in turn become a mage.